Yo, yo, yo. What up, what up, what up? My bet and family. We back with another video here at No Limit Bets. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing out my top 4 picks for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. And as you guys may already know, the series is tied 1-1. So it's definitely a huge game here in Game 3. I'm excited for it. Can't wait till it starts. But before we get started, as always, if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe. It's truly appreciated. Without further ado, though, let's go ahead and get into my top 4 picks. Now, I did just want to do a quick recap of the last time we were here, which was for Game 2 of the Finals, obviously. And in that game, we were only able to go 2-2 with our top 4 picks as the only 2 that were able to green for us. We had Gabe Vincent over his points and assists. He had a big game. And then we also had the under on Aaron Gordon's points. It was at 13.5, and he finishes with 12. Now, the other 2 that weren't able to hit, we had Jamal Murray over his 3.5 free throw made. Only ends up hitting one. Pretty much only gets to the free throw one time and hits it. It was on that dunk and one where Max Strus hit him from behind. And that was the only time he got to the line. So we weren't able to green that. And then the other one, we had Jimmy Butler over his PRA line. He had a good all-around game offensively. He only ended up with 21 points, but his rebounds weren't too good. And his assists were great, though. I think he had 9 assists, close to double digits. So, but either way, we weren't able to get it done, only going 2-2. So definitely look to bounce back here tonight. So let's go ahead and hop into my top 4 picks for Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Now, for my first pick, I'm going to be going to the PRA prop. And I'm going to be taking someone that's not a big surprise. I mean, I'm going to be rocking with Jokic over 50.5 PRAs. Now, as you guys can see, in the first 2 games of the Finals, he has gone over in both of them. Game 1, he had more of an all-around game, ended up with a triple-double, ended up going over with 51 PRAs. And then in Game 2, had more, obviously, as we saw, he was more of a scorer. I believe he ended up with 41 points and ended up with 56 PRAs. Now, in Game 3, I expect, Jokic to go over again. I mean, the Heat really don't have any size to match up with him, so he's going to get his way in whichever way, whether he wants to get it as an all-around, end it with a triple-double like he did in Game 1, or if the Heat defense make him more of a scorer. He's shown that he's well capable of doing that, and he can get it, just scoring the ball. So either way it goes, I think Jokic has a, big game tonight for Game 3 and goes over this 50.5 PRA line. So I'm going to be rocking with Jokic over 50.5 PRAs for my first pick. Now, for my second pick, I'm going to be going to the rebounds category, and I'm going to be taking MPJ over 7 rebounds. In Game 1, he did go over, ended with 13 rebounds, but in Game 2, didn't do so well, only finished with 6. I mean, compared to what he has been doing recently in the rebound department, he didn't do well. But overall, I mean, he still finished with 6 rebounds, which is still pretty good. And throughout this playoffs, he has been rebounding the ball very well, averaging 8.2 rebounds per game throughout these playoffs, going over in 7 out of his last 10 playoff games. One of those games that he didn't go over, he did end it as a push with 7. And, we know his size. I mean, he's 6'10". He definitely has a size advantage against, the Heat's wing defenders. And when he crashes the board, he's obviously going to have, the size advantage, especially when the Heat, play that zone defense, which they have been doing a lot of throughout this series. When you play the zone, it's harder to find a man to box out. And with his size and him crashing the boards, I think he should be able to go over these 7 rebounds, as he has been, pretty much throughout these playoffs. Now, one quick note with this one, they do have a defensive rebound category, and they have him at 6.5 defensive rebounds. So, I mean, it's not that big of a difference if you guys want to go that route. Again, it's pretty much the same. You're just not counting any offensive rebounds. So I like to take the overall rebounds because obviously he could get 1 or 2 offensive rebounds throughout the game. So I'm going to be rocking with MPJ over 7 rebounds for my second pick. Now for my third and fourth pick, we're going to be going to the Heat side of things. The Heat are going home here for game 3. So I know they're excited to play at home for the first time in these NBA finals of this year. And for my first pick from the Heat, third pick overall, I'm going to be going to the points category. And I'm going to be taking Jimmy Butler over 25.5 points. Now, I know in the first 2 games so far in these finals, he has struggled. Game 1, he only ended up with 13 points. And in game 2, did a little bit better, but went under as well, only scoring 21 points. Now, here in game 3, I definitely expect, Jimmy to be in attack mode, be fully focused, and to, bounce backs, offensively. I'm pretty sure he knows the Heat are going to need his scoring to, 1 or 2 games throughout this series to get, over the hump and, win 4 games. And I think he's more than capable of doing that. He has shown that throughout this playoff run. Not so much here recently, but he's well capable of putting up big numbers on the offensive end. And in these playoffs, at home, he's averaging well above this line at 29.2 points per game. So when he plays at home, which game 3 is going to be in Miami, as we know, he has played well and has scored the ball well, as I mentioned, averaging 29.2 in the playoff home games so far in these playoffs. So I think Jimmy Butler bounces back, gives us a playoff Jimmy performance, and obviously goes over this 25.5 points line. So I'm going to be rocking with him, his over on his 25.5 points. Now for my fourth and last pick, I'm going to be going to the points and assists category, and I'm going to be taking a vet in the Miami Heat, roster. I'm going to be going with Kyle Lowry over 11.5 points and assists. He is averaging above this line at 14 points and assists throughout the first 2 games of these finals. In game 1, he went over with 16 points and assists. In game 2, just barely made it over, and then with 12. So he did go over in both of those games. Game 3, I just expect Lowry, to bring the same type of, production on the offensive end. He has been very efficient here in these first 2 games, shooting 50% from the field and 55% from the 3-point line. So like I said, he has been efficient, and as we know, he's, can facilitate the ball. He can get you with the minutes that he's getting coming off the bench, he can get you anywhere between 3, 5, maybe even 6 assists, and can get you anywhere from 7 to 10 points, which will obviously get him above this 11.5 points and assists. As I mentioned, he is one of the vets on this team. Has the finals experience, winning it in 2019 with the Raptors. So I think his experience is going to be valuable here in game 3 and, going forward in this series or in this finals. And I like him going over tonight, over 11.5 points and assists in game 3. So that's going to be my top 4 picks. Just to recap, we're going to be taking the over on Jokic PRA line, the over on MPJ's 7 rebounds, the over on Jimmy Butler's 25.5 points, and the over on Kyle Lowry's 11.5 points and assists. We're going to be putting a $10 entry for the possibility of winning $100. Let's go ahead and place that entry. And that's going to be it for today's video, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of your day. Enjoy the game. And we'll be back here for game 4. Let's get this money.